Guys, this is Sean from HZad Education. Today we're going to do a review on task 1 of the CELPIP writing. A lot of you asked me to do this after I did the speaking recording, so now we're going to do this. And you can see we have changed the name of the channel from just English and CELPIP tutoring to Coaching Central, because we will of course continue our English classes and CELPIP reviews, but I will be adding a lot more of that content where I talk about book reviews, about positivity, and about motivation, which is most important. And of course, English is our main course. So well, today we're going to focus solely on CELPIP Task 1. I'll give this writing feedback. This is one of my really old students, and this was the writing they did. Okay, so let's have a look. We first will look at the question. You have registered for a 6-month computer training program at this college. You want to rent a room for this housing agency. All right, so you have 3 pointers. Explain when you need to rent the room, describe your requirements for the room, and ask about costs and the application process. Okay, in CELPIP, you don't need to make addresses or dates or anything. So even something like this, let me change it, sorry. Something like this, Sambro Housing Agency, you do not need this. Okay, so this one you can delete. Everything that I'm going to delete, I'm going to put an underline and under brackets so you can remember we're not supposed to use this. Okay, so we should just start with Dear Manager. That's fine. That's actually very good. And you can start with Dear, Mr., Miss, or anything, and that's it. No subject, agency, date, time, anything needed. All right, let's see the finish. It's a very weak finish. It just says thanks. We never say thanks in CELPIP. Okay, so this whole thing, thanks, should be eliminated. And instead of thanks, you should say, since it is formal, this is a formal letter or email, you should say yours sincerely, or you can say yours truly. Yours faithfully is fine too, but it's just too old. So I prefer yours sincerely or yours truly. You put a comma after that, okay? And you put your full name. So everything, guys, here that I'm putting in bold, that means we have to add these things. Okay, so full name for formal letters, and the first name is enough for the informal letters. That's the difference. Okay, so bad start. All right, it says this is Jonathan here. So this is very, very simple. Right away, the first impression is that this is a very basic student. Now, if you guys haven't seen my video on the templates, I'm going to link it in the description so you can check it out. The templates are meant to be used in all sorts of writings we do for especially CELPIP, which give you the start and finish on how to do the task 1 and task 2. So in this case, the template should be something like, the purpose of my writing today is to whatever. In this case, the purpose is to register for a room. Okay. All right, so I would say the purpose of my writing is to inquire details pertaining, want to add a fancy word right there, make a good first impression, pertaining to, and then I'm gonna go here, renting. Okay, let's put this up there. Pertaining to renting a single occupancy room in your housing for 6 months, full stop. This whole thing I will avoid. The name especially, we don't need that. You can have the name at the end, which is also weird, right? She says it's Jonathan, but then she's Martha. So the examiners are smart, you know, they will catch on those things. So we gotta be careful. This paragraph I'll eliminate. It's too much detail. We don't need that much. It's just the intro. The intro should just be the purpose and, you know, what is the main idea for your writing. Now, this is an error too. 6 months. So we're not meant to write it like that. First of all, there's no space between that, so that's wrong. Secondly, it should be 6. That's the correction I'm going to write the correction over correction in capital. So 6, any number, guys, that is below 10 should be written with spellings. Actually, sorry, below 11 should be written with spellings. That's the rule of English. Okay, so 6 should be SIX, unless you are giving units. You know, if you're talking about 5 kilometers, 10 hours, sorry, even hours are not units, kilometers, meters, centimeters, those kinds of things, that's where you can use numbers when you're giving units, like percentage, 10%, I'm not gonna spell it out, I'm gonna write the numbers. Okay, so person writing stay in car, details about pertaining to this. That's it. Simple. The conclusion also, unfortunately, there is no conclusion. I don't consider this a conclusion. If the student is trying to make this a concluding paragraph, it should really be separate, like on a next line. But it's mixed up here, so I don't really consider that conclusion. And even if this were a conclusion, it's not the best one. It is very simple. Simple words like please let me know how to apply, associated charges, rental agreement, simple stuff. We don't want simple stuff. Again, this is the final impression, so let's make something fancy. Again, please go through my template. It is in the link, so that's where you will see how to write a better ending and better start. I don't remember my template really well. It's been a while since I went over it, but let's see. This is about the renting. Okay, so we could say, I think the template goes something like this. Your cooperation in this matter is greatly. The reason we do these lees is to add the adverbs and adjectives, like this adjective here, appreciated. Adverbs, adjectives give you a good range of vocab instead of just simple nouns and verbs. And this matter is greatly appreciated. Furthermore, an open line of communication from your side in this case will nicely assist my search for accommodation. Okay, I'm pretty sure this was the template, something like this. So of course you modify it a little bit based on the question. In this question, we're talking about accommodation. That's what we're talking about, right? You want to rent a room. Okay, I just want to make sure always. I always check. You can see I've read the question like 3 or 4 times, and I'm going to keep doing that because it's very common to go away from the question. We start thinking about other things. So anyway, you see guys, this one has a connector, has an adverb, has an adjective. It has fancier sentences. Instead of just saying your cooperation is appreciated, I'm saying your cooperation in this matter is appreciated. Here I'm saying in this case, and you can see how I'm putting in this case in between commas this time to show that this is a separate clause of the sentence. And these additions make sentences complex on purpose, and we're doing that on purpose. That gives us marks for complexity, and that's where we get into the area of getting a 9 or more. Again, an adverb nicely assists me in my search for accommodation, trying to be fancy, instead of saying it'll help me for finding a room, I'm gonna try to be fancier with my vocab. Okay, so now it looks a little decent, but still we have the body paragraphs and they have a lot of problems. Okay, so I have looked at the Sambro Community College website, and it mentions your housing agency as the nearest one to the college. It'll be easier for me to attend my training from your location. Okay, actually that has no grammar mistake. Let's go to the next one. I'm planning. You see, there's no connector. There's actually no connector anywhere. So let's add something like on top of that. Okay, now it's better connected. Same thing here. Now you don't have to do it every time, but it doesn't look good if you start this with I and this with I and this with I. So we gotta have something different. Let's see the flow of this, and then we'll decide what kind of connector we gotta do here. Okay, so on the top of that, I'm planning to rent the room starting July 1st, December 21st. Okay, CELPIP and IELTS, they both like it and appreciate it if you put. It's harder to do this here for some reason. If you put the the year. Okay, in formal letters, in the formal letters, they ask for years. In informal letters, doesn't matter. So I'm going to put the year. I am seeking for a private room with a bed, chair, desk, small wardrobe. I would prefer, gosh, there's so much I. So that's a problem. We can't have that. We need more variety, but I'll come back to that. Right now, I'm just checking the grammar for this these few minutes. I would prefer a quiet corner room if possible. I can share the washroom, or it'll be even better if there is a private bath attached to the room. Rental budget is around this. There should be a space. Put a space between that per month. I hope this is a This is A enough for a room with my specification. Yeah, I think she put A by mistake because we're not saying a noun after the, like before enough. Well, sorry, after A, we're not saying a noun. Usually if you have a noun after A, like a cat, a room, a place, you say A. There's no noun here. It's just enough. So no A. Okay, I'd like to know about the application process for renting the rooms. Okay, this should not be the. The is with specific topics. So if I'm talking about the rooms in your building, the rooms in the cafeteria, or whatever, if it's something specific like the rooms 108 to 110, then I'm going to say the. But if it's just general rooms we're talking about, nothing specific, so I won't say the. The only goes with specific things. I have browsed in the college website. On the website, yeah, it should be on, so that's a mistake too. It should not be, you don't browse in websites, you browse on. So I have browsed on the college website. Well, actually, you go on the website, yeah, but even then, on is a better suggestion. However, you just browse websites. With browse, you don't need to say on, but generally with websites, you would say on. So I've browsed the college website, that's okay. To check if an application is possible, but I could not find it anywhere. Okay, grammar-wise, this student will be okay. There are mistakes like here, like this one, or not putting a space here, and yeah, a few more. But overall, she's not too bad in grammar. However, all the hit she will take is on vocab, very, very basic vocab. Let's go back here. We were talking about the connector here. So we can see, let's see the flow. She's talking about her requirements for the room, and she's moving on to what she has done. She has, well, she wants to know about this, and she has browsed the website. That's what she has done. So it's a pretty different topic. So I cannot say likewise or similarly, because those connectors are if the topic is similar. Since it is a different topic, I can say on the other hand, now that is too ordinary. So maybe you could use moreover. Moreover is pretty good, but I'm trying to give you guys some better suggestion. What's more? What's more is a good connector to use here. The reason being, it's like an addition. So blah, blah, blah. And what's more is this. So there's more addition to what she's saying. So we're going to say, what's more? I'd like to know about this. Okay, now let's go from here and fix all the vocabulary. Okay, I have looked at the college website. So I have browsed, she already used, and that's another thing. So I'm thinking to use browse there, but she already used it here, so I won't use it because I want to keep a variety of vocab. So I have gone through. Okay, let's do that. Gone through is not the most fancy word, but what it is it's a phrasal verb. So now again, I'm showing the examiner I can do variety, simple words, and phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are things like give up, gone through, blow up, cut off. Okay, and I have made a video on phrasal verbs as well. If you guys haven't seen it, please check it out on my channel. Okay, I have gone through. I'm not gonna say at because I'm saying gone through. So just gone through the college website, and it mentions your, this is eating up my words. This is not helping me with anything. Like, it's not giving me vocab marks, so I would ignore it, and I would use 3 words somewhere else where I can build more vocab. So just, all right, I've gone through your website. Simple. I've gone through the website, and I'm going to say your, just so it's more clear which website, because I removed the name, so let's make it clear, your website. And it mentions your housing agency as the nearest one to the college. All right, fine. It'll be easier for me to attend my training from your location. Now, let's check the question. The question was, explain when you need to rent the room. Where is this mentioned? I don't see this. Oh, it's here. Okay. You know what? Yeah, this thing needs to go here. Okay, so let me put this here. And the reason is it should be organized, guys. This is answering this question now. The first body should answer the first bullet point. Next body should answer the next bullet point, which it is doing. And the third question, cost and application process. She's asking about the process in body 3. And she is not asking about the cost, so that's a problem. She's actually missing that answer. She mentions something about her budget, but that's not the question. The question is saying ask about cost, so she's actually missing that. So we'll come back to that in a sec. But yeah, for organization, guys, body 1 should answer this, body 2 should answer this, and body 3 should answer this. Okay. Okay, so now that I have put this connector in the previous paragraph, I need another connector here. So let's just say moreover. It's a good connector. Moreover, it can fit anywhere. Anyway, back here, it'll be easier for me to attend my training from your location. On top of that, I'm planning to rent the room starting July 1st to this. Okay. Okay, all right, okay, cool. Moreover, I'm seeking. Seeking is a good way to say you're searching or looking for. Seeking is actually nice, so that's fine. But seeking for, it's not wrong, but it sounds a little awkward to say seeking for. You don't usually seek for. You don't say for with seek. So just I'm seeking a private room with a bed, chair, a small wardrobe. So here what I'll add is semicolon. Okay, guys, check this out. Semicolon. God, where did that go? Huh? What happened? Just a second. All right, we were here. Okay, don't know what happened, but all right. So we're here. So I'm gonna put a. Okay, this is happening again. Just give me a second. There, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a semicolon and we're gonna say essentially, just gonna bring it in front of the screen. Okay, essentially, something with basic, something furnished actually, something furnished. All right, so guys, what I've done now is I put a semicolon. Semicolons are done to make it, to add extra points. Okay, so I'm now adding an extra point, like essentially I need something furnished. That's kind of like a summary or a conclusion to what I'm saying earlier. And by doing the semicolon, I'm getting a mark because it's a complex punctuation. By saying essentially, which is an adverb, I'm getting a mark because it's li, and then something furnished. All right, I would prefer a quiet corner room if possible. I can share the washroom and it'll be even better if there's a private bath attached. Okay, you know what? Let's remove the sentence. This sentence, again, is not adding any value, all right? It's not complex. It's not having a connector. And does it answer the question? Describe the requirements? Yeah, it does. But the previous sentence does that too. The next sentence does it too. So you don't need 3 sentences to answer one question. 2 sentences are enough, okay? So let's go here. I can share the washroom. Now, there are 2 points here. In this sentence, I want you guys to look at sentences this way. You have 2 points. I can share the washroom. That's 1 point. And then this is the second point, or it'll be even better if there's a private bath attached to the room. Let's make it a complex sentence. And complex sentence starts with words like since, considering, due to, and because of, and so on, right? There's lots of ways you can do that. I have made a video on complex sentences as well. So if you guys haven't seen it, please check that out on my YouTube channel. Okay, so we're gonna start with, let me see. I'm gonna try to make it, all right, let's take this, not only. All right, that sounds perfect here. Not only can I share the washroom, so we'll change this a bit. We're not going to say I can share. We're saying not only can I share, just a different way of saying it because I said not only. Not only can I share the washroom, but, so it's just the classic not only but. All right. Wait a second. What did I have here before? Or, sorry, my bad. Or. Okay, not only can I share the washroom, but it'll be even better if there's a private bath attached to the room. Not only, but. This is a classic way to do a complex sentence, and now I get my mark for a complex sentence. Okay, so that's enough. This thing I will remove because she is mentioning the budget. there is no need to mention your budget. The question never said mention the budget, if you guys see here. The question was saying ask about costs. So in the third body, right here, I will add something about the budget. So I won't make that sentence. It's just I'm going to ask about the budget. I'm going to ask about the cost. And that's because I have removed this sentence. And instead of the budget sentence, I need to ask about the cost. That is missing. That's going to give her a problem with the task response. Okay. I would like to know about the application process. She can say, I'd like to know is very basic. So let's make it fancy. Urgent need is to ask. I would like to inquire. It'll be, all right. Okay, let's use this format. What's more, okay, so I'm gonna say what's more, and then the cost sentence. So imagine I have done that, and now I'm gonna say I'd like to know. Instead of that, I'm gonna say, it would be highly appreciated if you could shine some light on the, remove that, the application process. Shine some light on it, more fancy, and it would be highly appreciated. I went with this because I always in my writings, I try to include a little bit, it would be great, it would be appreciated, it can be noticed, or it'll be highly appreciated. Just using different tones of sentences to keep showing the examiner my variety. Okay, I have browsed, I don't see any connector here. Let's make a connector, a simple one, not a big one, not like moreover and what's more, because I've already done lots of those. So I'm just gonna say a small one also, just shows a better flow, gives a better flow to your sentences, and if possible, but I could not find it anywhere. Okay, so this one, college website to check if an online application is possible, but I could not find it anywhere. Very basic, but I could not find it anywhere. Instead of this, let's say, I mean, you can say I had a hard time finding it, which is also very basic. Search results didn't yield. I'm going to use yield. The best results, I couldn't come across, I'll use it. It's a phrasal verb, and yield. Now, how do I put it together? I'm going to say, check if online application is possible. Oh, let's do this. Okay, if online application is possible, then comma, all right, so after is possible, I'm continuing here. However, just a good connector. However, I was unable to, or I was unable to come across any prospective, okay, I browse, okay, any options that would yield my requirements, that would, okay, yield, guys, means to produce. Okay, so the search results didn't yield what I was looking for. They didn't yield my requirements. It's fancy. Come across is a phrasal verb. It's fancy. However, is in between commas, which is good because I haven't used this combination. Overall, there's nothing like this that I've used. There are connectors with commas, but nothing in between commas. So I'm going to use that. And however, I was unable to come across any options that would yield my requirements. Much more fancy than this, right? So now it's better, sounds better. So we added a bunch of fancy vocab. We also reduced a lot of unnecessary things that were not adding any value, like this, there's no need for it, this, there's no need for it. Instead of that, we're adding sentences like this one. We're making room for sentences that have value. And every time we're trying to have a different combination of phrases, words, and sentences to make it sound more fancy and to show the examiner that we can do a big range. At the same time, we have divided the paragraphs into 3 for body 1, body 2, and body 3. This way, you are structured, and each body talks about just that idea. Again, what I was focusing on is 2 sentences per question, 2 sentences per bullet point. So here, 1 sentence is about the costs, which is going to be something that we'll come up with. The next sentence is going to be about the application process. Yeah, application process. You don't need these many sentences. You can just have one sentence on process, one sentence on cost. This one, you should just have two sentences. That's why I removed this extra sentence we had. And this one, explain when you need to rent the room. We got to come back to this. This is the last thing we got to do. This is the only sentence that explains when she needs to rent the room. There's nothing else. This one is all useless. I don't want to say garbage because it's one of my students, but it's all useless actually. We should be talking, well, we should have a decent intro, but we should have two sentences on when you need the room. So you think, well, when you need the room is simple, from this to this, right? So how should I make two sentences? This way, you can say, if that is not possible, I can delay settling in until August, since I can manage an alternative an alternative residence, because I used accommodation already, an alternative residence for the month of July. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm still talking about when I need to rent the room. I have talked about that in the dates, and I'm staying on the topic about when, about the dates, by saying something additional about the timing. And I'm saying that I can delay it if you're busy in August. If you're busy in July, I can settle in August, since I can manage an alternative for July. So this way you can expand on the same topic instead of talking about something very irrelevant. For example, training from your location, or I went to the website. None of them talks about the time of your need for the room. So I want to stay on topic, and that's how you can make two sentences relevant to your bullet point, which is going to give you the task response mark. Okay, so guys, there's lots of things that this student needs, and you see these things I cannot explain on YouTube, and this only comes with our coaching. So once again, when you take coaching, we give you detailed feedback this way. It took a lot of time for this writing, and it takes a lot of time for writing and speaking to approximately tell you what your mistakes are and to show you where you're wrong and what things you need, like where you are scoring and what you need to score. Takes a lot of time. So please do consider classes if you're preparing for these exams. My website is in the description, so you can always ask me questions about that. And until that, and if you have any queries, you can also use the comment section, ask any questions you have for this kind of writing. Other than that, I will also upload a video on task 2 soon. So please subscribe if you haven't already. You'll be notified when that is uploaded. And that's it. That's pretty much it. I'll most likely see you guys on Monday as we do our vocab lesson. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please do, so you can get all these fancy tips and tricks. Until next time, this is Sean. Talk to you guys very soon. Take care.